Hi everybody, it's really great to be with you today, and I wanted to bring your attention to some events that are going on in Toronto this week to celebrate International Women's Day. As you know, International Women's Day was first celebrated in 1908 as a political protest against terrible working conditions that women were experiencing in New York City as well as all across the United States and Canada. International Women's Day is celebrated across the world, and in Toronto there are several wonderful events. First, I want to remind you that there's the big march for men and women and kids on Saturday, March 6th, and that is happening at 252 Bloor Street West. That's where the rally takes place, starting at 11 o'clock in the morning. The march takes off from that location. It's also known as the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education. And the march takes off at 1 o'clock, and the march winds its way through the streets of Toronto down to Ryerson University, where a fantastic fair featuring women's groups, publishers, all sorts of cultural groups will be sitting at tables and offering information. So I hope that you can make it on Saturday. It's going to be a gorgeous day, about 8, 9, 10 degrees. So a perfect day to get out and bring the kids out and celebrate women's resilience, fight for our public services, fight for an end to violence against women, and build solidarity with women and men across the city. Before the march, on March 5th, there's also another event that you may want to check out. It's called Celebrate Women's Resistance. It's being organized by the Migrant Women's Coordinating Body for International Women's Day. It's a night of celebration, a celebration of womanhood, our identities, and solidarity. It's on March 5th. Beginning at 7 p.m. That's Friday, March 5th at 7 p.m. and it's at Steelworkers Hall. And that's a great facility where lots of wonderful dances and events take place at 25 Cecil Street in downtown Toronto. It features performances by the QP Freedom Singers and Faith Nolan, a fantastic activist and cultural performer, Sandy Paredes from Gabriela, the Philippine Advocacy through Arts and Cultural Group, Wasun, Matadans, and many, many more performers. So I hope that you'll be able to make it to that. The next day, of course, is the march, and there will be lots and lots of groups marching under their banners, and look for the group that represents the issues that matter to you, and they will welcome your participation. I also wanted to let you know about the couple of events on March 8th itself. March 8th is actually International Women's Day, and family law resources for women with disabilities and deaf women are going to be launched on March 8th. These are being launched by Springtide Resources, and they're really important materials that are accessible to women with disabilities and deaf women. These are women who are very vulnerable to violence, sexual assault, intimate partner violence, and all forms of violence. And it's really important to have materials that are accessible to all women so that they can take action to resist violence in their lives. The launch takes place at a building that's called the Robertson Building. It's located at Queen Street and Spadina Avenue in downtown Toronto, 215 Spadina Avenue in the Alterna Room, which is on the 4th floor. And the launch happens at 9 a.m. in the morning, so it's from 9 to 11. Anyone requiring sign language, that interpretation will be provided. And there is contact information, a woman named Fran Odette, F-O-D-E-T-T-E, at womanabuseprevention.com if you'd like more information about that. There's another event on March 8th in the right after that one. So once you go to the launch, you can move then from there to Parkdale. Women and children are welcome to the Parkdale Anti-Violence Education's annual International Women's Day celebration. It's a free community lunch. It takes place at the Masaryk Cowan Community Center. That's out in Parkdale, 220 Cowan Street, right at Queen, and that's from 11 to 2 p.m. PAVE is a working group of service providers that organizes events that bring awareness about violence against women and the availability of community services. So check that out. Later on that evening, to top off your day, there is another celebration at Women's College Hospital. It's called The Power of Us, a celebration of women, and that features two wonderful speakers, cultural artists, and performers. The first is Jessica Yee. Jessica is a youth activist, an Indigenous youth activist who has written books, carried out workshops and done speaking engagements all over the world on the issues of Native youth, health services, healthy sexuality, and issues of that type. Also joining Jessica is Debbie Young, and Debbie Young is an amazing performer. She has written plays, written books, performs regularly, is the winner of many awards. So these are two women that you definitely want to hear more from. That's on Monday, March 8th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Metro Central YMCA, again in downtown Toronto at 20 Grosvenor Street. There are tickets available. You can contact Women's College Hospital or U of T tickets at 416-978-8849, and I'm sure tickets will be available at the door as well. And last, I want to tell you about an important fundraiser for the Toronto Women's Bookstore. I don't know if you have been to the Toronto Women's Bookstore, but that is an institution that's been in our community for over 35 years. They're located at 55 Harbord Street, just west of Spadina Avenue, again in downtown Toronto. And the Women's Bookstore has been there fighting the good fight for women against violence, against racism, against imperialism, against poverty for many, many years in this city. They're having a very difficult time right now. It's a very hard time for small businesses, especially independent ones like the Women's Bookstore, to survive. And there are a number of fundraisers that have been held over the past few months to help them raise enough funds to keep on going for another 35 years. The fundraiser on March 8th, what better way to spend International Women's Day, is at the Transact Club, and that's 292 Brunswick Avenue. That's just west of Spadina, just south of Bloor Street. The tickets are $10 to $20 to go to a good cause, the Toronto Women's Bookstore, featuring a number of wonderful performers, Raging Asian Women. If you haven't seen them, you've got to check them out. Those are Asian women doing taiko drumming, huge drums, run all over the stage, pounding the drums, showing women's strength. Evelyn Perry, a fantastic independent artist. Belladonna, spoken word artist and poet. George Hewison, Sarah Marlowe and the program, and Roberta Moeller, who does Nia dance. So these are wonderful artists. There is a lot of other works for sale and for auction to help support the Toronto Women's Bookstore. Monday, March 8th, 7:30 p.m. I plan to be there, and I hope that you will too. Thank you.